Hello and welcome to Motors for the Masses, and today we are back with Rieju, but this time the 2022 MRT Supermoto 125. So let's roll the intro and get cracking. Rieju are storming in the off-road department, but today we're going to see how they fare in the on-road department with a bike that most people will probably buy. If they're in the market for a Supermoto, is what I meant. It's hot, what can I say? The version we have here uses the same 4-stroke, 4-valve liquid-cooled Zongshen engine and 6-speed box as found in the Sinus Terrain and GPX. Developing 12.8 brake horsepower and 7.8 pounds-foot of torque, meaning 60 miles an hour is the top speed. However, if you're slightly lighter than me and I'm 16 stone, then you may get 65. Also, if you're willing to spend £1,200 more, you can get the Yamaha engine-based Pro version, which also has the Marzocchi forks on it as well, and a few other trick bits. But let's concentrate on this one we have here. This standard SM version uses 37mm right way up forks on the front and a monoshock on the rear. Now you could be forgiven for thinking, oh, it's got separate brakes, but no, Euro 5 bollocks would not allow for that. It is a combined brake system, even though you've got a single hose to the front, and again as a braided hose, and on the back as well, but there is a bias box hidden in there. Discs are 260mm on the front, 200mm on the back, single piston caliper front and rear using the J1 Spanish brakes. But as Rieju is made in Spain, then it's no surprise there. You get 17-inch cast wheels front and rear, and tyres are Michelin Pilot street tyres, 100 on the front and a 130 on the back. The frame is nice and substantial. You've got this nice chunky frame up here and another bar going down the back, and then you've got this double barred cradle underneath the engine. So it's a nice sturdy frame, nice good quality frame that's on there. And the rear subframe is separate and bolted on at the back here underneath. Now at this juncture I'd like to mention a couple of negatives. Being your Supermotard style bike, springy stand and non-rubbered metal serrated foot pegs, which will demolish the moisturized skin on your legs in no time at all. So just be mindful of that. Of course, being hard biker type people that you are, and myself included of course, that's not a problem. Just don't slip, because it might hurt. Dimensions are all pretty normal, although it is lighter than you think. It's just 112 kilos. Which is almost as much as me, at 101 kilos. However, it's only 2.15 meters long, pretty standard, 800mm wide, 1.16 meters tall. The seat height does sound tall at 870mm. However, I am 5'10.5" with a 31.5-inch inside leg, and I am on it flat-footed. Now, to get on it, it's possibly a little bit taller. You may have to step over it a bit more, but when you're on it, it's quite bouncy. So it's very simple for someone 5'10", 5'9", even 5'8", 5'7" perhaps, to get on it and ride. Now, some of you may be saying, what about us tall people? You know, the normal amongst us. What is normal these days? Well, if you're over 6 foot, well, let's find out. Jamie! So there you go. He is just over 6 foot, and there, he still looks fine on it. Now, you do only get a 6.5 litre fuel tank, so fill-ups will be cheap, albeit frequent. So, being a no-frills bike, the bike comes with standard lights on the front, like so, and normal bulb indicators. On the back though, you get LED rear lights, and normal indicators. Now, as far as sound is concerned, yes, it just sounds like a 125. Now, when you look at the dash, when the bike comes in, this is how it comes. However, it would look like the brake would have to be disconnected, then you have to bleed them again to reroute this hose, because I would say it needs to go through this black bracket here, around the back, and then back through that bracket, because at the moment it's in the way of the dash. However, the dash itself is a basic dash. When you turn it on, there's no rev counter. You don't get a gear indicator or anything like that. You've got your neutral light, of course, your engine management light, speedo in the middle there, it's the important bit, your time and your mileage. Other than that, that's all you get. But again, being a Supermoto style bike, it's pretty much what you get as standard. And we are out on the MRT 125 SMLC. Now, you don't get a gear indicator on this bike, but you know what gear you're in, he says, trying to put it in 7th. I'm currently in 6th doing 38 miles an hour. I don't know the way that's routed. That would need moving. You don't get a rev counter either, you can just hear what the revs are like. Mirrors, alright. Visibility wise, I've got about 80% visibility, it's not too bad. It's very comfortable, and it does not weigh a lot, so speed wise it actually picks up alright. I mean, I'm on 6th, so I can't really do much at the moment, but we'll pull away from these lights and see how well it pulls away. The gear ratios I think are quite close together. The rear foot brake pedal is in a little bit, so you do have to twist your right foot in a little bit, but it's nothing major. Right, got a car alongside us, and he came up to the lights quite spiritedly, so let's see whether we can get away or not. Not that I'm racing, of course, you understand. It'd just be nice to see how good it is pulling away. Beaten by a Kia Rio. Other than that, we're alright. Car behind had to pull in. Yeah, gets up to speed okay. Certainly a lot better than any air-cooled engine. But this is what you come to expect from a lot of these liquid-cooled engines now. They pull away quite well, but the gears are quite close together. I've noticed that a lot of these, especially this Zongshen engine. As said before, is used in the Sinus Terrain and the GPX. Although I do believe it pulls away a bit better than the GPX does, but that's because probably it only weighs 112 kilos. It's pretty comfortable. Forks did their thing okay. The seat is a Supermoto seat, so it's not the softest, and you are sitting very much on top of the bike, just like we were on the Mondial Supermoto. Now the Mondial is a little bit more money, but it is, I feel, a little bit quicker on the acceleration. When we get out into the countryside and we can get up to 60 mile an hour, we'll see how this fares then. Obviously I can't thrash it because it's still in the running in phase. Good balance, don't have to put my foot down at all. Takes the corners okay. I'm expecting these tyres to be pretty decent because they are Michelins. You know, this is definitely the way forward, I think. Liquid-cooled engines over air-cooled engines. And I'm in 6th already at 38 miles an hour. That'll take me all the way up to, I'm guessing 60-ish. We'll have a look in a minute. It's a simple sort of no-frills bike, but a lot of supermotos are. You don't get fancy dashes, you don't get a lot of gadgets, but the bike rides pretty well. They're comfortable. People who buy supermotos kind of expect that you are sitting on a harder seat than usual. No, I'm definitely still in sixth. And that you're perched on top of the bike rather than sitting in a bike. But if you like the supermoto feel, then it's exactly as it should be, and that's that simple, really. Very light and flicky. You know, it's what it's supposed to do. As I say, the front forks are okay. I'm not really getting much of a vibe from the handlebars. I've got a tiny bit of buzz through my arse, and at certain revs a tiny bit on the foot pegs, but that's because they are metal and there's no rubber on them to absorb any of the vibration. But other than that, it does what it says on the tin, so to speak. It goes pretty well. It feels pretty comfortable for a supermoto, and it's flickable, light, easy to use, and quite spirited. You certainly get used to that brake lever, knowing you have to tilt your right foot in a tiny bit. I'm hoping the wind noise is not too high today. I am using my roof helmet, which is not the most quietest helmet. Telltale signs of the indicators are fine. Brakes pull up as they should. Combined brake system works well enough. So it accelerates pretty sharply. And as I say, with the short gears, you can change gear quite quickly. Very light gear change, it's not clunky in any way. A decent clutch, quite light. Very simple. Alright, let's see what we can get up to here, shall we? Up to 45 quite easily, and I think I might be in sixth already. I am. Okay, it's up to 55 there. Now I think I'll leave it at that. I don't want to thrash it and force it to do something. Once it's running, it's a 60-mile-an-hour machine. Maybe a different sprocket will help that top end and balance out the short gear changes, but of course it will affect the acceleration. Other than that, it does the same sort of speed as the Sinus Terrain, especially with this gear ratio it's got. Right then. So overall, I still keep wanting to put it in another gear, but again, that's just getting used to it. Once you're up to speed, it feels pretty comfortable still. You don't get much of a vibe or much of buzz. Let's see what the turning circle's like, make sure there's no traffic here. Let's do a little turn in the road. Yeah, you can turn around really easily. Very good balance. Very simple. It's a decent acceleration. again, 55 comfortably. Doesn't have a huge top end, but it does get there pretty quickly. So there you go. Right, let's get back, talk about colours and price. So as a sum up, I would say it's not the quickest machine in the world. The gearing, perhaps with a different sprocket, you could get maybe 65 out of it. Other than that, it's pretty good on acceleration. It's a lovely smooth ride. It's a nice riding bike, and for the style of bike it is, it's very nice indeed. It's available in two colours. You get the black or you get the white version. I like the black because it's got some white on it. It's not just black. I think it works very nicely. Price wise, it's $3,699 on the road with a 2-year parts and labour warranty. And that is all I have to say about it. Please let me know in the comment section below what you think of this bike. Do you have one? Did you have the previous version? Do you like it? What do you like about it? Do you have an alternative? What is it? And what do you like about that? Other than that, that's all I have to say really. Now, I do have coming up the Sinis version of something like this. We have the SMXE and the SMR. They're coming back for Euro 5 with a new look, so we'll be looking at those in the near future. However, this Rieju I think is pretty nice indeed, and I like it a lot. And that's all I have to say. We are heading off to the ABR festival. I'm not going to ride because my foot, I'm a little bit worried about my foot with all the equipment I've got to take. That means my bike is going to be over 300 kilos. So we're going to take the Moto Morini in the van, but we'll be riding bikes when we get there. And it's probably going to rain, so we'll see how it is. However, that's all I have to say. If you have any comments, please leave in the comment section below. Thank you very much for joining me. I'll be back next time with something else. I can't remember what. Well, the ABR festival, and then who knows what. So stay tuned for that. And please don't forget to like, subscribe, click the notification bell and all that gubbins. And until next time, please ride and drive carefully, but have fun. Bye-bye.